That is so satisfying to do.
Oh.
But yeah, I will admit the solution that I came up with, because on a real console, I can do Goomba Storm decently well. I can always get great, and I can nearly always get excellent. But on a console with a mouse, just pecking the screen with the mouse clicks just isn't working for me. So I'll admit I set up an auto hotkey that just causes the mouse to constantly click for me, so I just have to drag my mouse across the screen. And if you want to call me out for cheating, I guess you can, but I don't have a touch screen. I apologize. It just works so much better to have something that at least can let me use Goomba Storm like I can on a console. So, we got the Bonsai Bill! Hooray!
So
we can use the cannon now.
So how does keeping a Bonsai Bill captive work? Is that like enemy enslavement or something like that? Or not enslavement, enemy captivity? Like, do Bonsai Bills have feelings? Like, I don't know. Are the bullets alive, or are like the faces painted on? But then they have like hands sometimes. I don't know. The Mario universe, something you shouldn't think too much about, I guess.
Maybe they're considered pets, like chain chomps are considered kind of like pets, you know, an animal that you would keep for petly reasons.
Better question is, what the hell does a bullet bill eat?
I eat bullets for breakfast. Oh, that's actually a great question. What do bullet bills consume? I think the only way we're going to get this answer is to play Mario and Luigi, the Bullet Bills Inside Story. Coming on the Nintendo NX to a console near you. Whatever in the world the NX is going to be, I have no clue. Anyway, eating that gigantic carrot was not the best idea in the world, because what has just happened is Bowser has gotten a huge tummy ache. He can't even walk any further forward. Ouch. So, I don't know about you, but this seems like a side effect of there being way too much carrots. That was a huge-ass carrot.
Or maybe he just hasn't eaten vegetables in like forever, and his body's like not reacting well to it.
Or he needs to take a big giant poop.
It's probably a combination of all three.
Considering all the water that Bowser drank earlier, add the carrot in with it. That's not a bad theory. Though the pain isn't quite coming from the gut, it's coming from the nerve cluster. So even though it's the belly ache, it's the nerve cluster, which is kind of closer to Bowser's armpit. I don't know. But what's causing Bowser all of this pain is, drum roll, this thing. Oh boy, so this thing I guess came along in that carrot. It looks like Birdo and another Wiggler put together.
Oh my gosh.
Like if you were to put Birdo and Wiggler into a blender, you'd end up with this bug.
It's like that thing online where you can mash two Pokemon together. They just kind of did that with Birdo and Wiggler.
Anyway, this worm thing is causing huge pains for Bowser, and it's also eating, I guess, these white things inside of Bowser, which you could also argue are white blood. I don't know. White blood cells. But anyway, this is the thing that's causing Bowser just not being able to move at all, because this thing, is evil and causing Bowser a lot of pain. The only way we're gonna manage this is to, well, kind of exterminate the bug. And Starlo is way too polite about it. Just imagine if someone came up to me and was like, I'm sorry, sir, but for our own future, we need to kill you. That's essentially what we just told this bug. This bug's name is Durmite. So, moving on from a Bowser battle, right on over to another Mario and Luigi Birdo. Yeah, this thing looks like Birdo and a Wiggler. What the fudge? This is why you should cook your food, because if you don't cook your food, you'll have these things crawling around inside of you. Anyway, attacks-wise, the Birdo Wiggler thingamabobber, as I'll just call it from here on forward, can either charge at you just like that, or attack that she commonly likes to use is a little sticky string attack, where she'll spit a little string out you and then try to capture either Mario and Luigi. I messed up, shoot. And that attack actually does a decent amount of damage. I'm pretty confident if I was using the challenge battle, it wouldn't quite be a one-hit KO, but it'd be really close to it. It does that much damage. But otherwise, actually, this thing itself doesn't have too many other attacks, actually. The only other thing that she could do is spawn more of those white things to come and attack us, and those things aren't too much threatening. But
Huh.
If you get eaten, she will either spit you back out at the other bro, in which case she'll actually spit you high enough to where you won't run into the other bro, unless you jump, and if you jump you messed up, or she'll poop you out and make you go backwards, and I guess around the world inside of Bowser's... I messed up again. I suppose the other thing she could do, she can spawn a straw like that, and if she spawns a straw, she'll heal like 24 HP every turn, and we don't want that. We don't want her healing HP. Plus, it looks really painful for Bowser, because she's basically a mosquito at this point. It's not very pretty, to say the least, you know? But yeah, this silk attack here, I just barely actually didn't manage, and you can see how, don't jump there. I instinctively jumped, and it's a good thing I jumped too late there, because yeah, that wouldn't be any good. The best strategy for these white guys, they can knock you over, but otherwise they themselves aren't too powerful. They aren't really worth your time or firepower. Like, even if you spawn to take them out, it's probably best to just use fire flowers, because it takes them out pretty quickly for us. But this orb thing itself, I suppose to be reminiscent of like a silkworm because of that silky attack, but I like how the white things have like little spears and shields, and they just have a tendency to knock Mario and Luigi over. I'm happy that it was Mario's turn next, or else that could have hurt me quite a bit more than it actually did. I also find it interesting, we're kicking the green shell back and forth, and it's hitting like the center of the silkworm Birdo thing, wiggler thing's body, not her face. So she's smart in not having her face getting walloped by that shell. I'm not doing so well with dodging that attack. And it got another turn to attack again. I don't know exactly what the turn order is here, but yeah. I'm not doing so well. So let's go ahead and have that one nut that I got from earlier from inside of Bowser's body. Yes, we're eating a nut that we found inside of Bowser's body. The 5-second rule totally does not apply here at all.
Well, once you've eaten it, doesn't it kind of like void that rule? Or is there like a rule that happens once it's inside your body? It's like that.
The 5-second rule doesn't apply if you've eaten something, you're saying?
Well, I mean, the 5-second rule is if it falls on the floor, but once you've eaten, it's technically not on the floor. This is getting confusing.
It is. Yes, we're gonna find this undigested nut that we found inside of Bowser's body and eat it. There we go. One more good attack should take out the Wiggler thingamabobber.
I love that name. The Wiggler thingamabobber.
The Wiggler Birdo thingamabobber.
Birdo.
Word. There we
About
go.
time.
That
Holy
does the
shit,
trick.
it took forever to kill that thing.
But Mario and Luigi can't get furry like Bowser can. This would be a lot different if I could get Mario and Luigi to have furry. They probably would have gotten in that battle too because of how much I got hit. Mario and Luigi need to get furry in some kind. There are, if I recall correctly, don't quote me on this, if I recall correctly, this game also does have peppers like the previous Mario and Luigi games. We just haven't gotten to a point where I can get them. Oh, if that's the case, I may have to start using them. So this is, in case you're wondering, guys, this is why I'm not using the challenge medal through the regular LP, because that boss battle would have lasted about twice as long with it. Which, when you're playing the game, and the battles in this game are really fun. It's just watching them, it's hard to exactly say much about them. But we're going to go ahead and continue on, and we find that there's more of these really weird white things standing in our way. And we've kind of gotten ourselves cornered, and because we exist in a two-dimensional plane, we're just going to, well, kind of take the fall. Thankfully, that just kind of took us down a floor, in which we find out why this place is called the Nerve Cluster. There is a huge cluster of nerves blocking that passageway connected to more giant cluster of nerves. There we go. Who's this guy, Toadbert? I've never heard the name before. Guts, Blunker. Anyway, past this conversation, you can kind of see that there's just that one pulsating nerve that just looks like it's begging to be hit.
Uh-huh.
Luigi knows what's up. This nerve cluster was actually tied to something pretty cool.
Was that a typo?
No. Bowser's arm is currently in pain, but Toadbird, I guess, is a super genius on Koopa anatomy because he apparently knows what this nerve does. This nerve allows Bowser to slide around while punching. and he's just like, we hit that nerve. Maybe Bowser can move around while punching now because I apparently have a master's degree in Koopa anatomy. So yes, this actually basically gave Bowser a new ability. We can now slide around while punching, and this allows us to destroy new things like these rocks here. So plus this is a pretty cool way of moving around because you move around faster while using the punch slide. So we can now get around even faster as Bowser. Plus it is awesome as a first strike because if you slide and punch, you can slide and punch right into enemies and first strike them. It's very satisfying. So this is an awesome power up. Just Toadbird, where the hell did you learn this? Wow. You apparently, wow.
Bye-bye.
I think he went to school on anatomies of, I guess in this case, Koopa Troopas. Or maybe he's just one of those people who knows a lot of things about different species. What's the name of that in our world? Like an animal specialist? I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I just don't know. Toadbird must be one of those. But from the battle earlier, we got some good gear here. I could actually equip some gloves or something like that onto Mario and Luigi, though if I take a look at what's available, let's actually take a look back at Toad Square at what's available. There isn't anything extremely tantalizing for me. Let's not forget to heal this time. Thank you, Milesluigi. But there we go. Let's go ahead, jump up to the store. Well, I guess not quite yet. Let me save first. There we go. But anyway, there isn't too much tantalizing at the store at the moment, in case you're curious. What we are going to do is we're going to do a little bit of backtracking as Bowser again. This is a good time to do it because the next event as Bowser is a pretty big plot important event actually for Bowser, and I'm going to save that for next part. What we're going to be spending the rest of this video doing is getting ourselves the blitties that we missed from the Cavi Cape and the Plaque Beach. Now, because chalk roads are our only method of travel, and the nearest chalk road to us is kind of at the beginning of the forest, it kind of makes it a little annoying. At the bright side, I can show Bowser's new punch slide ability, which is it's very satisfying and fun to use, and you do move faster with it. The only thing that screwed me up when I was playing this game originally is before you get the punch slide, you can just be walking around, press X, you just punch normally. Now with the punch slide, if you're moving at all and press the X button, you do punch slide, and sometimes you don't want to do punch slide. So I found myself using punch slide in situations where I didn't want to punch slide until I got used to it. On the bright side, you do get this ability relatively early on in the game, so it doesn't mess you up too much, and it is a movement option, which is pretty cool. But on the other hand, just this very brief moment when you very first get it, it will probably mess you up in that regard. So anyway, what we want to do here is get back to that chalk road and get over back to the Cavi Cape so we can get those blitties. Here we go. We can slide through there, and I missed another trash shower. There we go. Let's destroy this. If I can attack it properly. There we go. I believe this battle or the next battle is an important level up. Oh, this is the one here. It's a rank up. Bowser's ranks ups are actually similar to the Mario Brothers rank up. More equipment we can equip. The thing is Bowser levels up at different points than Mario and Luigi does. In case of Bowser, we had to wait till level 10 until our next rank.
That wasn't worth putting that point into speed.
That was actually SP. That's Bowser's equivalent of Bro Points or FP from Paper Mario. It's a pain in the ass to level up Evil Pop-Tart. It just doesn't go up, and Bowser never has enough of it.
Well,
never
that's the
has
point.
enough of it.
It's why put points in it. Fucking put points into your defense or something else. That's stupid.
Anyway, while we're doing all this backtracking, I'd like you to imagine, okay, theoretically, just imagine if, like, Kamek came along and was like, hey, Bowser, I found you. Just imagine what Bowser has to tell Kamek. Oh, God, Kamek, what has gone on here? Well, let's see here. There's these mysterious things inside of my body that keep talking to me. I gotta get my castle back, and I ate a giant carrot to get a Bonsai Bill. Bowser's got a really, really, really crazy story he has to tell. It's like, oh yeah, I beat the shit out of a statue in the beach, and the beach was like full of cavities too, and I ran into these points in space and time where I can travel across them. Just, yeah, Bowser's had one hell of a day. But there we go. This is the only backtracking for Blitties you ever have to do. If you kind of naturally use the vacuum ever so often in battle from here on forward, we should never have to backtrack to get Blitties. It's just these two, because at this point in the game, you either don't have the vacuum block, or if you do, the game doesn't let you collect Blitties for until Mansoor Block mentions it. So, unfortunate. These two are the ones you do have to backtrack for, and the one in Cavi Cape you really do have to backtrack for. But the one in Plaque Beach, I want to say Bowser goes back to Plaque Beach or something. That could be wrong. I could be remembering the game wrong. But anyway, throughout the game, it is kind of in our interest to go back to Mansoor Block, because we can drop off the Blitties, and at different numbers of Blitties, he gives us items. Like at 4, which is what we have right now, we get the Block Band. It's a piece of equipment that actually adjusts, in this case, Bowser's defense by a percentage. These equips are awesome because they're good throughout the entire game, as opposed to something like the Judge Shell, which I currently have Bowser, which just raises defense by a certain number of points. So consequently, like later on in the game where I'm going to get a better equipment than Judge Shell and I'll never have a point to put it on again, but like this Block Band and Hard Ring, both of them increase Bowser's defense by 20%. So no matter what Bowser's defense is, it gets a 20% increase from that equipment, which is pretty awesome, so it's always useful to us. There's some equips in the game that just do that. It's a percentage increase instead of a straight increase. I will point out at this point, JD Aster posted a big guide on Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, which shows you exactly how equipment stacks and how percentages stacks, and it's kind of complicated actually, so I'm not going to go to it in this video. To summarize, sometimes equipment gets put under the effect of a percentage increase, and sometimes they're not. And I have no clue why. But at this point, we're just going to go ahead and run back to that save point, and we're going to call it apart, everyone. So, next time on Let's Play Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, we're going to return the Bonsai Bill back to the canon, and cool things are going to happen. So, any closing thoughts, everyone?
This part was a lot... Oh, sorry, I'll let Jim go.
So far, it's been interesting. I mean, at least we got a new ability, but it's stagnating my attention at the moment. Slow.
It gets better next part.
Slow.
Trust me, it does.
That was my initial feeling with this game too. I did kind of feel it was slow, which I guess is why I didn't make it too far in. I do have to say this part was a lot of... It was like boss battles and mini games. There wasn't actually too much exploration.
That's true. Don't worry, next time, interesting things will be happening. And I do agree with you. This game kind of starts out slow, though once you get past that hump, like, throughout the rest of the game, it'll be a lot better. That's my guarantee to everyone. So, anyway, this has been Milesluigi.
This has been Pop-Tart.
And Higsby?
See you next time.